Just before noon on Monday morning, Adrian Wojnarowski dropped his biggest bomb of the season. While the whispers had been floating around for a while, most people thought Jason Kidd's job was safe, considering the Bucks owners bent over backwards to hire him away from the Nets 4 years ago. But after mediocre season after mediocre season, it was time to tell Giannis to fire him. Well, that's how it ended up playing out, as the Bucks, for the second coaching change in a row, botched their announcement. There have been lots of reasons to point to: Kidd's unimaginative offense, the underperforming defense, and his lack of understanding of endgame situations. In one bizarre example, he told Chris Middleton to intentionally miss a free throw when they're up 3 points, as if he was worried about a 4-point play with 1.4 seconds left. This gave the Cavs the only chance they could possibly have to tie the game. And in an even more cringe-worthy example, he ordered his team to take a foul in the backcourt while up by 4 and 12 seconds left. The NBA bench is simply not the place to learn on the job, and Kidd went directly from playing to head coaching. And these are examples that show he might have been better off being an assistant for a while before taking a head coaching job. While most of the reporting has been vague, it's time to get out the real evidence of what was happening on the court to explain why Jason Kidd is no longer coaching in Milwaukee. Kidd tried to point out that he was coaching inexperienced players.
I think when you become 25 or, in the 28 range, you tend to think about the game. We're talking about kids that are thinking about trying to put the ball in the basket. And that's what happens. And there's no coaching, there's nothing that you can do but go through it and learn.
But take one look at the number of seasons the rotational players have under their belts, and it's hard to believe he would use that excuse, considering most have at least 4 years in the league. And yet, with these athletic kids he was playing, it would make sense you'd want to maximize that speed and length and get out and run. Yet the Bucks rank 23rd in pace. In a theme that will come up often, Kidd's 90s approach to the game dictated that if you feel outmatched or less talented, you must slow the game down and limit possessions. But I can't help but feel the exact opposite for this team. Push the ball, get easier shots, create more variance, and let's face it, with a team that has Middleton, Bledsoe, and Giannis, they are a team that should be playing like they're a top 4 seed in the East, not an overmatched group hoping to eke out some wins. In the half court, the thing that stands out is the poor spacing and lack of movement. When 2 or more players bunch together on the weak side, it makes it much easier for the defense to stop the offense from scoring. One defender can now guard 2 guys, allowing lots more help and contested shots. You can see how 3 players stacked like this allows the defense to wall up and contain any type of attack, leaving Brogdon to throw up a tough, twisting floater under pressure. This started out promising with some pistol action, but watch Middleton creep up too close to the top of the key. Now his man can effectively stop the ball and get back. Henson doesn't make good contact on the step-up screen, while Giannis stuck in no man's land's getting in the way. Whiteside doesn't have to move more than a step in any direction, making this block with ease. Here's a good example of having 3 shooters around Giannis, yet with this maker screen near the elbow, he doesn't have any space to work with. They'd constantly run this action, the high post split, and if you have Giannis bring the ball up to the wing, there's just nowhere for him to go. The corner's defender is in the way of a baseline drive, and Maker is in the way for a middle drive. In this alignment, with Bledsoe handling the ball, it's a mistake to put Giannis in the corner. On the drive, his man helps easily and destroys the possession. Not only was the pace slow, but the half-court offense itself was way too rote. Possession after possession of one-sided action, where 3 guys had to wait to move until a pass was made, one action at a time, not forcing the defense to rotate or react. More evidence where the offense was one action at a time. Wait till I pass to Middleton. Now don't move until Giannis gets the ball on the wing. Now wait for the ball screen. It was hard to watch, to be honest, and it was no surprise that the Bucks ranked 24th in passes per game and 18th in assist percentage. On a team with Bledsoe, Brogdon, and Giannis, the ball should be moving a lot more, creating easier opportunities. The issues I have with the offense start here, but there are worse things to go over. But first, I want to show you some of the defensive issues everybody's been talking about. They're currently ranked 24th on defense, and while it would be easy to point out the fundamental reasons why Kidd should be blamed, it's not so clear it was all on him. They are 28th in the league in opponents' three-point percentage, and part of the reason is they like to help one pass away off of open shooters. By doing this, you give the ball handler the easiest pass for an open look, usually in the corners. This is a matter of discipline, and the coach is drilling this so players instinctually stunt at the ball with the express purpose of getting right back to the shooter. In the NBA, the three-point shot has become too much of a weapon to give your opponents openings like this. And the same needs to be said about doubling down on the post from one pass away, giving up the best three-point shot in basketball when the ball is passed out from the low post. While Eric Bledsoe is a very good on-ball defender, it was mind-boggling seeing how often he would get lost on the weak side, leading to major breakdowns in the defense, good looks at the hoop, and plenty of field goals against. There was no need to help to the midline of the court when his teammate was already tagging the cutter, putting him 2 steps behind in his closeout to the corner. On this fake cut, he gets completely turned around, unaware of the ball or his man, until it's too late and the ball is on its way to a swish through the net. On this play, as the highest and farthest man, he's responsible for splitting the area between the 2 spot-up shooters and closing out to the pass. Instead, he gets all the way into the lane and can't get there in time. While this isn't technically one pass away, he's grabbing his knees while the play is coming right at him, out of position, then giving up the rhythm catch-and-shoot corner 3 to an elite shooter. He even wanders on a jump ball, unable to get close to Lowry again, who gets a wide-open 3-ball to drop. The pick-and-roll defense isn't actually that bad, but I did notice a severe issue when Thon Maker is guarding the ball screener. He simply can't contain the ball handler, and there doesn't seem to be any improvement on this. The limit to practice time makes it hard to blame the coaches for this, but it's clearly an issue that teams have been exploiting while he's on the floor, and it explains why he's got the second worst defensive rating of any of the rotational players, behind only Matthew Dellavedova. Now let's get back to the offense and things that aren't going well. As of today, they've snuck into the top 10, so it's hard to say there are issues, but I can't ignore the pick and roll distribution. You would think that looking at plays like these, Giannis Antetokounmpo would lead the team in ball screens by a large margin. With his size and athleticism and length and ball handling ability, he is one of the only unstoppable players in the league, both getting to the rim and setting up teammates when his gravity overpowers the defense. The step-up screen is a particularly lethal way to get Giannis attacking with the ball screen, since the corner is vacated and he's got half the floor to work with. Even when the spacing is terrible on the weak side, it doesn't matter much since he can step through with those long legs and get to the hole anyway. Double ball screens also solve some of the spacing issues by getting everyone above the free throw line, and it's enabled Giannis to control the possession with his excellent vision and have his pick of open shooters behind the arc, or room for the roll man to cut to the hoop and loft it up for the alley-oop slam. The bottom line, though, is that 3 other Bucks get more pick and rolls than he does. At least Middleton and Brogdon are very good running them, but it's utter coaching criminality that Eric Bledsoe leads the team and it isn't even close. Of course, Bledsoe had been very good running them in Phoenix, but he's on a better team now, and after this many games, Kidd should have adjusted and got him off ball more. One of the main reasons I see is that he's not good at attacking going to his left, where he's much more likely to not turn the corner and just pull up for long, inefficient 2-pointers. He seems uncomfortable having to dribble that way and doesn't explode to attack, leading to bad turnovers as well. His left-hand dribble isn't as clean as his right, and yet it's a flaw in the offense when you have a choice which direction to set the screen and they continually get him going to his left. Here, he fumbles the ball before launching a miss. On this screen, he could have attacked right into the middle and created something for him or a teammate, but instead breaks up a long 2-point shot. So in the end, it wasn't one thing that doomed Jason Kidd. Ownership thought they should be competing for home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. The defense should have been much better with the personnel they have. The offense didn't help the talent they have create baskets. And the question of whether Kidd had mastered the strategy in X's and O's is still up for debate. The next question is, which coach will get the most coveted job opening in the NBA? David Fizdale comes to mind, a coach who didn't get a chance in Memphis, but did he learn anything from being too tough on a foreign-born star of his team? And will he take a different approach with this foreign superstar? He clearly has mastery of the X's and O's, and I imagine he'd have a big impact on the defensive issues right away. Another possibility is David Blatt, another coach who never got enough of a chance in Cleveland, but who's a proven winner, a master tactician, runs brilliant offense, and pays attention to winning defensive principles. But will the NBA give him another chance after running into the LeBron buzzsaw? Lastly, there's a coach in the NBA right now who has Milwaukee roots, having played at Marquette before embarking on a stellar playing career, and an up-and-down coaching record. Doc Rivers had no desire to be involved in a rebuild in Boston and got himself out of there to a better situation with the Clippers. It's possible he's in a similar situation now and would want to transition to a team with tons of upside and a conference that doesn't have the Warriors in it. Either way, the Bucks' future should be very bright as they continue to develop the Greek Freak into a perennial all-star, surround him with shooters and defenders, play him a lot more at the center position, and find a coach who understands exactly what Milwaukee stands for.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
I was not aware of that.
Sports fans, to see more of our great NBA content and analysis, make sure to hit the subscribe button, but also click the bell and adjust your settings so you can get an alert the second our videos drop. Because trust me, you're going to want them hot and fresh. You in?